Chicago. You know what? I don't know what neighborhood I'm in. I'm just riding around. Man. You know, at first I wasn't going to do a show. I wanted to take a break and rejuvenate and rethink things and reconstitute and whatever. I wanted to take a break, but who knows? I may turn this show into February. I may wait till March. I don't know. I'm getting old and tired of the bull crap. And the bull crap is basically that the preachers and the politicians and the potentates have been bumping the heads of the masses. It's just the human condition. It's always been like that. If you live inside Chicago or outside Chicago, in another region, another part of the country, you know that the mayor, Rahm Emanuel, is admired and a little difficulty. Now, when I run this show, whenever I run this show, if I run this show, because I'm videotaped, I may even air it, I don't even know. The mayor may have stepped down, may have been booted out of office. Now, I don't think he's going to step down. He ain't that kind of person. but he could. But that ain't the point. It really isn't. If Mayor Emanuel quits tomorrow, Chicago will still be Chicago. And Chirac will still be Chirac. And that's a hard thing when you hear these people protesting. Let me tell you something about folks protesting against Mayor Rahm Emanuel. I'm not a defender of Rahm Emanuel. What I don't like is ignorance and bull crap. That's what I don't like. Rahm Emanuel is not the issue. I got to turn around. I'm in the wrong. I didn't want to go down 55th Street. Look, I'm going down 55th Street. All right, don't worry about it. And so Rahm Emanuel is not even the issue. The issue for me is very basic. If black boys do not read and write well in grade school, they can't read it, by third or fourth grade, or hopefully after that, can't read and write, add and subtract, the black community will still be in lurch. We'll still be, I'm talking about low-income African-Americans. I'm not talking about the high-end. I ain't talking about the elite. I ain't talking about the so-called middle class. I'm talking about working class and the poor, the underclass, the abandoned. I was going to say earlier, when you see people protesting against Rahm Emanuel, you should ask, who are these people and who's funding these people? Who's funding these people? Where are they getting their money from? And you got to answer these questions. Ask and try to find an answer to these questions. Man, it's a school up here. I don't even know what school this is. Like I said, Chicago's a big city. I don't know all of it. I live all my life. I don't know every square inch. But when you see people protesting against Rahm Emanuel or protesting, period, you got to ask yourself, who is funding these people? Where are they getting their money from? What's the agenda of the people who's backing them? You see folks on TV, I don't care, when you see a preacher, you know what a preacher's out for. Preacher does grandstanding and BS, and that's what they do. Not all, but most. Most of the preachers are full of stuff. Just full of it. I don't even know what school that is. I should stop and do some research before I do these shows here. But when you see people, the preachers and the politicians are grandstanding. When you see groups, and I'm not going to name groups, you got to ask yourself, who is funding these groups? Where do they get their money from? Where do these folks live? What kind of jobs they have? If they have a job, and they funded by some organizations funding these protests, who are these people? Where do they get their money from? Now I was told that some of the people who are protesting against Rahm Emanuel, they're backed by Jewish people, other Jewish, because Mayor Rahm Emanuel was a Jewish person. Other Jews, liberal Jews who don't like Rahm Emanuel, who's the Jewish mayor. And when people start running their mouth, they should say something. People protesting against the public schools or something like that. You got to ask these folks. Some of the folks are getting backed by the CTU, or they're backed by the union, the CTU, the Chicago Teachers Union. If somebody's protesting about some school closing or whatnot, or whatever the issue is, they should have a little disclaimer below their name. I'm being paid by the teachers union. And I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. The Black Lives Matter movement, some other organizations out there protesting, I sort of agree with their protests. I just like to tell you, for you to know the whole story, as they used to say, the rest of the story. So Rahm Emanuel is not the problem. Rahm Emanuel leaves tomorrow. The black community will still be the black community because we don't like each other. We really don't. You have the elite. the so-called middle class, the upper class, middle class, working class, the underclass. And there lies the problem. You got the light-skinned slaves, the dark-skinned slaves. You got the light, bright, and almost white slaves. Negroes. See, when I was born a Negro. Negroes. Bootlicking Negroes. And you got sellouts and all that. I should have been a sellout. I really should have been. I'd have made some money and had a better life. Yeah. If I had the education, I would have sold out. I ain't gonna lie to you. I say that selling out because you got to ask yourself, is it worth trying to? And what we need here in the African American community, the black community. I'm on the Southside of Chicago, going toward downtown. What we need is an enlightened society and an enlightened community, a more enlightened community. And you have to ask yourself at some point, is it worth enlightening dumb people? Is it really worth it? Because Mark, it is what it is, man. In some respect, it's not going to change, but you have to give it a go. What I try to do for over 25 years, I forgot when I started the show, 1991. So it'll be 25 years this year, something like that. When I started doing the show in 1991, when I started the show, September 91, if I remember correctly, it's been so long ago. Well, I wanted to enlighten people, and I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to be famous. Yeah, I got a little fame, and I have enlightened a few people, so I've accomplished my mission. But if I just wanted to make some money, I'd have gotten educated and come up with a product or service the marketplace need, and I would have not lived in the hood. I would have moved. I'm going closer to downtown to move to downtown. See, most of our neighborhoods are okay. The problem is, like I say 10,000 times, and you know what the problem is. There's a few fools, a small percentage, if you will, of black men who are uneducated, uncouth, unhireable, unemployable, or unemployed or not employable. And there lies the problem. And we know why that is, because of racism, discrimination, deindustrialization, ignorance. So, and my main thing is that we're trying to, we live in this information age. Nobody should really be ignorant. But it's like the Wizard of Oz, like the Wizard of Oz story. Glinda the Good Witch, at the end of the movie, if you saw the movie version, she told Dorothy, you could have gone to Kansas at any time. You could have gone back home any time. And the Scarecrow say, why you ain't tell her that in the first part of the movie? Because Glinda the Good Witch told, and this is the movie version, go on the computer and you can see the scene. If I told you that you have the ruby slippers, you could have gone back to Kansas at any time. If I told you that in the first part of the movie, you wouldn't believe me, and you would have to learn it for yourself. So people got to learn things for themselves. So you can tell them that you're going to tell them and tell them what you told them, but they still have to, learn it for themselves. And therein lies the problem. I'm a lot wiser than I was 10 years ago, definitely 20, 30 years ago. But if I had some mentors or I had some intelligence when my frontal lobes weren't fully developed over 25 years ago, I'd have been off. But here we is. So where was I? Where was I? Rahm Emanuel? Rahm Emanuel's not the issue. Rahm Emanuel is not the issue. Do you understand that? Rahm Emanuel is not the issue. Forget Rahm Emanuel. So where was I? Rahm Emanuel, right? Forget about Rahm Emanuel. Rahm Emanuel is a multi-millionaire, and when he stops being mayor of Chicago, he's going to make even more money. The library's up here. I should go in the library and get something, but you know what? I really should. I should go and get Django Unchained. This on the shelf. I'm glad I'm over here. What was that? Rahm Emanuel, he made like $16 million in a year and a half. That's White Sox Park. I don't know if you can see it. I should go over there. Man, I'm gonna run out of juice, man. So I gotta say goodbye. I'm gonna go get a movie at the library. And that's White Sox Park. So forget about Rahm Emanuel. Focus on the schools. Focus on black children. And everything gonna be all right. Yeah, what I'm saying, all these folks protesting against Rahm Emanuel, they don't want to do the hard work. Protesting against Rahm Emanuel is easy. Going into the neighborhood school, the local neighborhood school, the traditional school, and try to make sure little Raheem or little Deshaun can read and write in kindergarten and second grade, grammar school, you know what I'm saying? That's what we need to focus on, making sure black boys can read and write, learn how to write computer code, learn how to be an electrician, plumber, Learn some damn ethics or something. You know what I'm saying? Stop this crime in Chicago. Forget it, Rahm Emanuel. Focus your effort on black boys. Black boys. I'm about to go to the library here and get me a movie. All right, you cool with that, right?